Hey everybody, I'm Mike Reno from Loverboy.
Hi, this is Joe Satriani.
Hey, I am Brandy Rhodes.
Hey, I'm UFC fighter CB Dollaway.
Clay Milliken, driver of the Parts Plus, Great Clips, Top Fuel Dragster.
What's up, world? This is your favorite comic, Tony Rock.
Hey guys, this is Kendra Sunderland, Vixen Angel of the Year.
Hey, this is Jimmy Chamberlain.
Hey, it's your boy J-Rock from Sunnyvale Trailer Park. You know, I'm and you listen to my boy T-Biscuit on the Toddcast podcast. I'm out like I sold something.
The Toddcast podcast is powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, providing complete financing and mortgage services for residential and small commercial businesses. Visit them at citywidemortgage.ca.
Now, here's your host, Todd Hancock.
You know the feeling. You're putting in the work, making the right moves, and things finally start to find rhythm. Things start to click. One of this week's guests has 1 foot in acting, 1 foot in creating, someone who understands the grind. It's not about overnight wins or perfect timing. It's about the auditions you keep showing up for, the scenes that you run again and again, the training, the waiting. Actress, creator, someone carving out a career one determined step at a time. Vittoria Setta joins the Toddcast for episode 394.
I actually had to stop today and be like, okay, what are we doing next? We've been all over the map. My boyfriend and I, Jeremy, are, producing partners. So we own a production company and we do a lot of video work, commercial work. And so we were flying around doing patient stories, like documentary style patient stories in Denver and Atlanta. And then this week I'm doing some voiceover stuff. Prior to that, I was working on a podcast. I don't know if I'm able to mention it yet, but it's a podcast series from Michael Imperioli. That he's doing about 9/11. It's called Underground Zero.
To suggest that she's been busy is a bit of an understatement. She goes, my boyfriend and I, Jeremy, are producing partners, so we own a production company, but there's been acting jobs and voiceover auditions and a lot more. You'll hear about that in the full interview if you want to check it out. Watch it on YouTube. Joining Vittoria, you've heard his voice at BC Lions games, Whitecaps games, even if you didn't know the name attached to it. He cuts through the noise, he hits the crowd, somehow makes a packed arena feel a little bit more focused. Voice actor, ring announcer, FIFA stadium voice, Don Andrews joins us. And here he talks about working with FIFA and how that's instantly his career highlight.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah. Like that really rockets to the top of my resume.
Yeah.
Just because that, again, it's the audience is huge. We had 350,000 plus people come through BC Place.
Wow.
And yeah, and the viewership on the Canada game against Qatar, I think was somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 million. Even the Colombia final, I think we were in the 7 million. There were eyeballs all over this, and yes, this is a career highlight, but I think there's more. I really think I don't think I've hit the ceiling yet.
Wow, right? Couple quotes from that one. So the audience is huge. We had 350,000 plus people coming through BC Place, and viewership on the Canada game against Qatar, I think there was somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 million. Incredible. FIFA stadium voice, an actress from Chick Fight starring Alec Baldwin, and you'll hear from this week's musical guest in just a second. Known for her work as an actress, she's now exploring a new side of storytelling through her music. As always, it's great to have you along. My name is Todd Hancock. It's because of our awesome sponsors that we're able to keep making these podcasts for you. Like our title sponsor, Citywide Mortgage Services. They're into their 4th year sponsoring us, and a key reason that we're able to keep on keeping on. I'm good buddies with one of the owners, a guy named Dara. He dialed me in last year when I had to go through the whole renewing the mortgage process. It doesn't get truly any easier. Like a couple phone calls, couple text messages. Bob's your uncle, super simple, walking me through, holding my hand. And of course, he got me a great rate as well. And right now is your time to strike. If you're in the market, maybe on the fence, the Bank of Canada has dropped the key interest rate, right? That's a good thing for the buyer. It's a buyer's market right now, renewing or refinancing. Citywide's been doing it for decades. And the beauty is they work for you. They don't work for the big banks, right? They have access to over 30 lenders. Even if you've been turned down before, they'll likely be able to help through citywidemortgage.ca. It's who I use. Use my network. They're ready for you through citywidemortgage.ca. Okay, coming up in just a few minutes listen to this, IFBB Pro Nicole Serini gives you exercise tips and advice. Learn from the pros. That is powered by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley. RV service, repairs, yes, they are ICBC accredited as well. And they're coming up on 11 freaking years. 11 straight years, like no breaks. 11 years as sponsor. It's incredible, the love and support that Tamara and the crew have shown us. It's truly mind-blowing. You can find them online on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, where else? At Tedco RV Supplies. First, our first guest of 3, this week's musical guest, as mentioned, actress and singer Sophia Lima. That's powered by Parallel 49 Brewing, a craft beer heavyweight. They're a powerhouse based here in Vancouver. They're built from a simple idea between just a few buddies that just kind of wanted to make something that they actually loved. A good beer. What started back in the early days of the 2010s has turned into a full-blown East Vancouver operation, pumping out deep lines of beers. No signs of slowing down. The brewery itself, the space, has become more than just a production house. It's a great little hang. There's a tasting room with a street kitchen, dozens of taps. Of course, they're online as well through parallel49brewing.com and all over social media. So Sophia Lima is an actress, as mentioned, singer, a writer whose career spans live performances, TV, voice acting. You've seen her in the series Class of 1970 and after them. She's done some voice work for Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft. And it's no surprise, or at least you shouldn't be surprised, to find out that, yeah, of course, she was a drama nerd.
I mean, like, I think I did theater a lot when I was younger, but I kind of stopped around middle school, I'd say. And it's just been like film and TV for me.
Yeah, that's fair. And so that angle of your life, like watching and being influenced by other people as a little kid, like what was it? What were the actors and like the specific shows that kind of pushed you to that path as well?
Yeah. I mean, Meryl Streep, obviously, she's like incredible actress. She's definitely a huge inspiration for me. And shows, I mean, I feel like what pushed me into acting was actually theater. That's when I realized that I liked performing, but then I, took like theater classes and I realized I didn't like that as much. And then I started taking like improv, TV and film classes and I was like, okay, here's what I like, and movies, I like anything by Wes Anderson, like Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think that's a great film. Yeah, I mean, I have a list of like 40 favorite movies, so it's kind of hard to like pinpoint the ones that I love. But yeah, I really like drama, like dry comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. She goes, I feel like what pushed me into acting was actually theater. And that's when I realized I liked performing. We talked to Sophia for just over 20 minutes long. You can hear it now. You can see it. iTunes, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube if you'd rather. Of course, they're all at Toddcast Podcast. So in addition to acting on screen, Sophia is a vocalist and songwriter, currently focused on that side of her career. And it was cool to get into it with her, talking about being an only child, how she cheers on the Seattle Seahawks. We got into the possibility of aliens visiting Earth, personal expectations, binging Love Island, and how she credits her grandpa for her getting into music.
Well, my grandfather is an opera singer and my whole family has always just really loved music. My mom always like blasted music in the house every morning, like 80s, 90s, basically everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. And I've always sung. I've always like tried playing guitar and all of that, but I started getting more serious when I was like 12, 13, and I decided to like teach myself guitar. And I took a trip with my dad to Seattle. That's where he's from. And he introduced me to like a bunch of alternative bands. And that's kind of where I got more into like my music taste now.
That's cool. So did you see EMP when you went to Seattle? Did you go to the Experience Music Project?
I didn't.
you missed. That's where like all the
Oh,
grunge, like it's a museum of grunge, like
oh my
on
gosh.
Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and
Yeah.
all those bands. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix and Heart and all that.
Oh my gosh. That's super
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Love that. She says, I took a trip with my dad to Seattle. That's where he's from. He introduced me to like a bunch of alternative bands. Coming from a musical family, I'm sure looking back, Sophia can say that she was pulled into being creative musically, which I think is pretty cool. She talked about what it's like creating music videos, her family and finding inspiration. Career adversity came up. And what is the hardest thing about being a musician?
I think the hardest thing is probably the uncertainty about it, just because it's not like a 9 to 5 where you do the same thing every day. It's like if you have the inspiration to write and you never know if people are gonna like what you're writing or like how they're gonna perceive it.
But does that
So
matter though? Do you care? Like truly care if people like your
Yeah.
shit? That you,
I mean, yeah, you're doing it for yourself at the end of the day.
yeah.
But yeah,
You
yeah,
just like the hope is that
yeah,
they'll like
yeah,
it.
exactly.
No doubt the uncertainty of it, just because it's not like a 9 to 5 where you do the same thing every day. It does surprise me that people still try to make it as a musician. It seems almost impossible with the state of the industry, right? Like artists making next to nothing with streaming platforms, the need to be on the road constantly touring to make any sort of money at all with your merch and whatever. It's impressive, the grind. Sophia talked about Madonna and Nirvana, TikTok rabbit holes, what success looks like to her. Superhero movies came up, so did the recording studio, and she shared her first concert, seeing one and playing one for other people.
When I was growing up, I didn't go to a ton of concerts. I just started like recently going to more concerts.
Oh.
Last year I saw Smashing Pumpkins and Green Day, and I saw Limp Bizkit, Metallica, and Deftones.
Oh, damn. And what was the favorite of all of those? Those are some pretty heavy hitters.
Yeah, I mean, Metallica was amazing. They were great. I also really loved like Deftones is also top like 5 for me. So probably
Same.
Deftones.
Probably top 10. I don't know if top 5, but definitely top 10. I love Deftones. Yeah.
Yeah, they're amazing. They are.
And what was your first concert that you went to?
My first concert that I went to, I think I was like 8, and it was definitely a pop concert. It was like Sabrina Carpenter or something, but not really my vibe now.
Parallel 49 Brewing is proudly the official beer of the Toddcast podcast, where craft meets character.
Keep making up a good excuse, but I know we can't avoid the truth. I can push away the things I've heard, tell me that I'm just too insecure. Searching for a way to make this right, don't know if it's even worth the fight. Shouldn't wanna try to make amends, you would think I'd have more common sense. Shouldn't be hard to comprehend. My hands are tied, forced to pick a side. It's your word against mine. Try and change my mind, decide what's worth your time. Counting down to our demise. Come a little closer, I wanna look you in the eye. When I tell you that it's over, I kinda wanna make you cry. Full disclosure, I'm not trying to play it nice. I've got some bridges to burn. Save the breath and trying to defend. Some things are better left unsaid. No one here was ever keeping score, but it's clear I must have loved you more. You just couldn't keep your hands off her. 7 months it took you to admit, to think you almost got away with it. I don't wanna live with more regrets, so I'm saying this in full offense. I hope you get what you deserve. Put away my pride, I was choosing to be blind, but it's something you can't hide. They say healing comes with time, but it makes me wanna die. Almost made myself your wife. Come a little closer, I wanna look you in the eye. When I tell you that it's over, I kinda wanna make you cry. Full disclosure, I'm not trying to play it nice. Or did you think I couldn't tell? You only did this to yourself. You got a lesson to learn. I don't need your confession, your pathetic intentions. Won't be second guessing. Come a little closer, I wanna look you in the eye when I tell you that it's over. I kinda wanna make you cry, full disclosure. I'm not trying to play it nice. I've got some bridges to burn. Underestimating me can make your life a living hell, like you did to me. Or did you think I couldn't tell? You only did this to yourself. You got a lesson to learn.
And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
IFBB pro Nicole Serini isn't someone who just got into fitness. This is how she lives, thinks, and moves through the day. You start to realize how important fitness or movement is as you get older, or at least I do. Stretching has become part of everyday life. Nicole is a retired registered nurse, and since COVID has been leaning hard into fitness, training, and helping people understand what a balanced, healthy lifestyle actually looks like. Commitment, structure, real-world discipline. Nicole talked about her early mornings, meditation, setting the tone for the rest of the day. Nutrition and motivation came up, so did calorie awareness, and there are a few foods she flags as surprisingly good for you. We talked about the pandemic and vaccines, cooking, how she wanted to be a veterinarian when she was younger. Even aliens and the Georgia Aquarium somehow made their way in. And I got her to give some overall exercise tips and advice. Listen to this.
Honestly, I think that as long as if you're strength training in the gym, 45 minutes to an hour is probably best. A lot of times, if you're going over that, you may just be going through the motions or doing too many exercises. And if your goal is to build muscle, really focusing on progressive overload. So for example, let's say that you're doing legs and you're squatting using the bar and you're getting through those reps pretty easy. You definitely do want to add incremental weight so that next time those reps feel a little bit harder to achieve. Say your target range is 10 to 12, you get those 12 reps very easy. So add a little bit of weight. And if it feels challenging to you, that's a good thing. That means you're building what you want to build.
So you don't want to be plowing through your workout.
Exactly.
Listen to This on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC-approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. And now, highlighting our next Blue Light Sessions, powered in part by Canadian Club Whiskey. Meet your new cold one. We serve Canadian Club and Ginger ready-to-drink cocktails at all of our live shows. Visit CanadianClub.com today.
Life speeds too fast like we're running out of time. Ignite the gas like you're blowing up my mind. Too many thoughts are going through my head. Quick money, fast, all you're working till you're dead. Try to get ahead, but there's nothing you can do. Every responsibility's all on you. All my aggravation, they say it's just a phase. Hold your anger back just to make it through the maze. my hostile feelings all on you. Blood boils over, there's nothing you can do. Frustrated feelings, cause every day I grind. Hold back my temper, cause now I'm going blind. Redline rage, I live in a cage. Act your age. Redline rage, redline rage, I live in a cage. Act your age. Redline rage, redline rage. Life speeds so fast like we're running out of time. Ignite the gas like you're blowing up my mind. Too many thoughts are going through my head. Quick money, fast, all you're working till you're dead. Dead.
To admit, it still blows my mind that they are pumping out new music in 2026. If you remember Salvador Dream, maybe the early 90s in Vancouver, they were kind of making it around the Rhymes with Orange, Econoline Crush, that sort of thing. And then, of course, grunge came, and then grunge kicked the crap out of everybody. But there's a new song for Salvador Dream called Redline Rage, and I would expect that you'll see that one at our next live show. So it's this Friday, July 24th, at the Blue Light Studio in beautiful East Vancouver. Toddcast Blue Light Sessions Volume 53 with those guys, Salvador Dream, and Stale is going to be opening up the night. Going to play something from those guys in just a little bit. Super fun nights if you've never been. There are still some tickets available. So the gist is both bands get a 45-minute set. I interview the bands while they perform. You can ask them questions too. It's not just me, but we do cap these nights at just 60 people because think about intimate, interactive. It's a small studio. 60 people rams the room. Early bird tickets are only $22 through eventbrite.ca. Brite, eventbrite.ca. Hope you can make it out. This Friday, doors are at 7 o'clock. We'll start the show at about 8, and we're usually done by about 10:30, something like that. Fairly early night, right? I played you something new for Tess Anderson, a song called Bridges to Burn. And of course, Tess just played a podcast show earlier in the month, and she's just a phenomenal performer. If you hear of her playing anywhere near you, go. You will not be disappointed. All right, so coming up shortly in Stop Me If You've Heard This Before, Godsmack singer Sully Erna talking about aliens visiting Earth, and he has some super interesting things to say about that, which is powered by the Home Dwell Group. One of the partners, Kyle, is someone I've known literally since way back in elementary school. He's been in that world since the moment high school ended, first cutting his teeth in Vancouver, designing homes and buildings that you might even actually know, learning how spaces are built from the ground up. And well, now he's fully immersed in that world in real estate, buying and selling homes and bringing that same eye with him, right? Of course, he'll know what's worth touching up, what needs work, what's already solid before you even see it. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, he's the kind of person you want in your corner. So hit him up through homedwell.ca, homedwell.ca. First, the second of 3 Toddcast guests this week is our sporting guest, voice actor, ring announcer, and FIFA 26 stadium voice, Don Andrews. So Don's been a buddy for years. He was probably in the first couple of years he was a guest, and we're firing things up. So we're well overdue to have him on again. And after he did the stadium voice for FIFA 26 here in Vancouver, figured that, this is probably not a bad time to get him on again. So you'll know Don as a voice actor, PA addresser, public address announcer, and an MMA ring announcer as well, working with the BC Lions, Vancouver Whitecaps, the Warriors, the Giants. He fills in for the Vancouver Canucks. And of course now, FIFA stadium voice. Crazy. It's a huge thing to put on your resume. Listen to what Don says are the core memories of working FIFA Vancouver.
The ones that really I think are going to stick with me is the love that people really give to their club. And you see that, and you get to see that where Turkey and Australia show up, and 53,000 people came to the game.
Yes.
They just, it was unbelievable to watch all of these people come together for a common good. Everybody wanted to watch some football. That's what they wanted, right? They didn't really care. Everybody wants to win. But that was like the very first game in Vancouver for the World Cup. And I think people were just so hungry for it. They were super hungry for it.
And it's not 53,000 people. It's 53,000 rabid fans.
Fans, right. Yeah, you used the term exactly, fans. It's totally crazy rabid fans. So those memories, the place being full, working with a group of people that the majority of them I have worked with in the past. A few of them I hadn't. But we have such a great talent pool in Vancouver that we were all able to come together really quickly and produce a fantastic show. I thought every game we did looked really, really good. We were really polished. Everybody knew what they were supposed to be doing, when they were supposed to be doing it. So that really helps with the memory, as well. You go back and think to yourself, was it a stressful situation? No. We were on the world stage, and it was still really fun.
And you are a big soccer fan. Not just that you do the voicing, but you're straight up, you love the sport.
I'm a huge sports fan. Like, it's just everything for me. I can't really get enough some days. I'm sure. And there's lots of sports fans that are like that. But
Sure.
I really love it. I grew up playing tons and tons of sports. The one thing that my dad really, really loved was to watch the World Cup. He didn't play a lot of sports. He would watch, American football a lot. He'd watch some CFL and stuff. But when the World Cup came around, my dad was glued to his TV for like 5 weeks. So I watched my dad kind of grow organically. And then, my involvement with the Whitecaps came, and it's hard not to really love it. It's a fantastic sport. The camaraderie that came together and the cultures that came together in our city over the past 5 weeks, it just proves it, right?
Is your dad still alive?
No.
I was going to say, you must have just been on cloud 9. Like,
for sure,
where you are today. It's
yeah,
truly remarkable.
It totally chokes me up.
Yeah. I just love the guy's energy. It was unbelievable to watch all of these people come together for a common good. Everybody just wanted to watch some football. We talked to Don for just over 40 minutes this time around. You can hear it. You can see it. Again, all at Toddcast Podcast, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube. Don's a monster, and I know that he would say otherwise, but he's one of those guys, like more than 20 years of pro voiceover experience, right? You've heard him in commercials, narration, e-learning, corporate videos, movie trailers, video games, live event voicing for the CFL, MLS, NHL, WHL, NLL, boxing, MMA. Got him talking about his favorite fighters, the Global Fight League. Superheroes came up, so did unions, his summer plans, FIFA's intensity, the importance of kids playing sports, winning medals.
Yeah, to learn team sports and to learn to be able to not have to rely on just you, realizing that there's a group of people that if you come together collectively, you guys can accomplish some crazy stuff, right?
Yeah, of course. And it's also like interpersonal skills of being able to deal with that one kid that's not super nice to you. Or
totally.
You know what I mean? Like it's that stuff as well. It's not just the sport, it's just getting involved in life.
For sure. The one that really stuck out with me the most when I was thinking about it, doing a bunch of research on sports and my kids, was that children learn to hear someone criticize them that's not their parents. You are told things, you are told yes and no by someone that's not your parent. And that can really, really mold a person really well, right? You can really, that person can have such a positive effect on somebody like that as an athlete. That it can really, really, really change the trajectory of somebody's life, for sure.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like, whoa, who's this person telling me I need to grind a little harder in the corners, or I like heads up when I make a play, like.
Right? It's not my mom or dad. Oh, no, but you have to listen. Right, I do.
What they're saying is right. You need to, I mean, and it's surprising, to be honest, like where we are today in society. I don't want to go down this path, but quickly as an aside, I'm surprised that it's even not that like, you can't say that. You can't say anything about that, blah, blah, blah. Like there's certain things for me when I go watch my kid play hockey. You can't cheer too hard if your kids are leading.
Sure.
Like what?
They want to balance it out, do they? They don't want to hurt someone's feelings, do they?
Right. Like, and that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, exactly. No. You know, when you talk to people that grew up with there was no participation. There was an actual gold, silver, bronze. You know, in Canada, we did across the board. We like big long runs and like, remember the flexed arm hang?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Do you remember that little, you coveted that gold,
like brooch pin or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, you coveted that gold thing. I don't know what the hell they're called.
We got you.
Yeah. But
it's
everything
amazing
nowadays.
It's amazing that they frown upon that now. And now here we're going down that path. But it's amazing.
Yeah,
that, like, you know, we need to keep bolstering those that are doing well and succeeding, and boost them up, make them better.
Yeah, and if you're not doing good enough, do better.
Like nailed it. He goes, realizing there's a group of people that if you come together collectively, you guys can accomplish some crazy stuff. Well said. It's key to get kids involved early, I think. Otherwise, you get into mischief, like getting into fist fights as a kid living in New Westminster. Don talked about that. Playing rugby, football, and basketball as a kid, living and paying some dues in Calgary, juggling jobs, working with his family in the voiceover world. Like, how cool is that?
It's really neat. And I'm going to hook onto that really quick with the fact that I've been able to include my whole family in it now. Both my wife, both my kids, myself. And we've been able to do a project together as a family.
Nice.
As a voice. Yeah. So for the last 14 months or so, my daughter and I have been working really closely with a company in town called We the Collective. And they do work for Play Nintendo, for the Play Nintendo YouTube channel.
Okay.
And my daughter has done, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 different videos by now, and is, garnered millions of views on her stuff. But
dude,
yeah, it's really neat. It's really, really neat. So I've been able to do it with her. So we did a daddy-daughter where her and I played Donkey Kong together. And my wife and her have done one together. And then my son and her did one together as a Halloween one. And then all four of us did a whole family one together. So
that is so rad, dude.
It's really, really neat. It's really, really big, because this is not my wife's world, right? My wife is into this and everything. She's always willing to jump on in and do. She's done tons and tons of voiceover.
Yeah,
surprisingly,
she is a creative. Like, she plays guitar, it sings. Like, it's not like a foreign thing to get in front of a mic, right?
Yeah. No, oh no, absolutely no. She's quite comfortable, yeah.
Sure.
But to bring her into my world and to see her animated in things is really cool. So
yeah.
Video games are the neatest things. My kid gets to go to school, and his buddies are like, "Hey, have you been playing Skate?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've been kind of watching it because my dad's in it." You know. Yeah, so there's those things. I tell him, I'm like, it's there's lots of people that work in video games, and there's millions. There's so many people in our city that work in video games. I tell them don't pump up the tires too much, but at the same time, I'm like, it's okay to tell people that your dad's involved, right?
The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca.
Turn the original figure, and with the light, you will find what we're looking for.
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
When a band hits their stride, it's not up for debate. You feel it in the numbers, the legacy, the weight in everything they've done. Godsmack is one of those bands. 3 consecutive number 1 albums on the Billboard 200, 25 top 10 hits, 12 of them have went to number 1, over 20 million albums sold worldwide. Hell, Boston even made August 6 Godsmack Day. At a certain point, it stops being about breaking through and starts being more about what you've already built. So when singer Sully Erna was a guest, we got into it, talking about binging The Sopranos and Entourage. He told the story of meeting Rush's late drummer Neil Peart. We got into superpowers. We talked about the documentary he's working on, the early influences that shaped him, Aerosmith, Boston, Zeppelin. He talked about the Scars Foundation and his work raising awareness around mental health. And stop me if you've heard this before, knowing that Sully is a believer. We talked about aliens visiting Earth.
Dude, not only visited, man, I am such a strong believer in whole extraterrestrial technology and life on other planets and stuff like that. I'm actually really good friends with Stephen Greer, who released the documentaries Serious Disclosure and Unacknowledged. And I am way, way into that stuff, man. And I am not only a true believer, but I really believe that in the next 5 to 6 years that I think we're going to have some exposure, some real exposure. And, you know, I know that they're working on things right now that are going to trap the government into forcing them to expose all the stuff that they have. And if they don't, they're going to release it anyways, because there's way too many people now that have worked for the government, even up to like 5-star generals and, you know, people that aren't crackpots. They're like legit people, and they're coming clean with it. And they're just like, listen, you know, this is holding back the human race. This is holding back how we're going to advance, and you guys need to release this technology and stuff because the people are ready for it. And, you know, they're claiming that like, oh, the people can't handle it, but everyone else is saying like, we'll be fine. Like, and if this stuff gets exposed, it could project us 100 years into the future. And so it's one of those things that's very hard for people to believe. And if you're not in tune with it, I can understand why people may think you're a crackpot. I think it's just like too out there to believe. But I truly believe it exists, and I've seen enough to convince me that there's no way it doesn't exist. And it's pretty ignorant to think that we're the only little speck in this universe, and we don't even know how many universes there are to think that it has life form on it.
You know, I've had enough people answer that question with, dude, not only have they visited, but they're probably living among us present day, like right now.
For sure. Yep. Yeah. I believe it, man.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of stuff exposed, and I think when it comes out, it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Religion, that goes right out the window.
Totally right.
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by the Homed Well Group. Buying a house? Selling your home? Contact Kyle at homedwell.ca today.
Really looking forward to seeing what they bring to the live environment. The band is called Stale, and their song is Day One. I wonder if they'll rip into that one on Friday. This Friday, they're opening up the night at our next live show on Friday, July 24. It's the Blue Light Sessions at the Blue Light Studio in East Vancouver, Volume 54. You already heard Salvador Dream. The band you just heard was Stale. Always incredible nights. Grab a ticket right now through eventbrite.ca. And hope to see you there. You heard a new song from podcast favorites Arlo Wells and a banging song from these guys called Fool's End. Keep an eye out, an ear to the ground for them playing near you. You've got to go. Killer players, great songs. They are at the forefront of that genre here in Vancouver. Just an absolutely mind-meltingly crushing band. Okay, our final guest of episode 394 is actress Vittoria Setta, this week's entertainment guest. Vittoria was born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, grew up there as a kid, and then moved to the States at just 9 years old.
Yes, let's talk about that. I think about that a lot, right? So what's weird is that like we learn English really fast. We didn't know a word in English, maybe cat and 1, 2, 3 and dog. But we learn English in like 6 months. And of course, I think that was also, that was undoubtedly part of, due to my stepfather's efforts at home, because he would put like little Post-its around the house and be like, light switch, television. And yeah, he was a real like museum dad. And so we learned English in like 6 months, but there are, it was definitely a culture shock, but I think we were so excited to see our mom, whom we had been, separated for 4 years, that we were probably more excited than anything. We actually moved to the Bronx first. We were there for like only 2 months, and then they found the apartment on Roosevelt Island. Roosevelt Island at the time it still is a really wonderful place to raise kids. It had one of the best public schools. So eventually we moved to Roosevelt Island, and we both, I would say, made friends right away. And my friends were from everywhere too. I mean, my friends were like Cameroonian and from Cote d'Ivoire and Caribbean and Bayesian, Trini, and like from everywhere, literally everywhere. I can probably count on one hand how many friends were actually like American, So it was definitely a culture shock. And part of me, I think, I know, definitely felt like in between cultures for some time. Like I didn't feel Brazilian enough when I would go back home to Brazil during summers, but yet I was never quite American enough, which is one of the reasons why I decided to make the podcast. Although the podcast name is sort of shifting. It's more of like the Hangout with Vittoria Setta now. But yeah, I definitely had some sort of identity crisis, I would say. I mean, how can you not?
Like what? I almost want to go back and listen to that audio again. We learned English in like 6 months. Imagine trying to learn a new language in 6 months. So she's fluent in Portuguese, English, and Spanish. We talked about that, her love of languages. Entrepreneurship came up. Now, so did family reunions, using AI in the creative process, binging The Sopranos, going to Trinidad. Vittoria studied at New York's LaGuardia High School before completing Shakespearean training at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London. Now, listen to her talking about LaGuardia.
Yeah, no, so I haven't dabbled, but music, I would say, is a pretty large part of my life, right? So I went to LaGuardia, and even though I studied mostly classical music, I dabbled in jazz a little, although there was only one jazz band and I just wasn't good enough. So they were like, no, you're stuck in band class. But because I was Brazilian, I was really drawn to bossa nova. And my stepfather, who was American, and I don't know if he studied music, but loved music, he had all these records in the house. And so he would pull out Thelonious Monk and, and whatever, Verdi and Bach and Rolling Stones. And so I think I was exposed to, world music and everything from a really early age. And yeah, and then of course I lived in a place called Roosevelt Island, which I don't know if you know where that is. And it's in the middle of the East River in New York. And I grew up with a lot of kids who were children of like diplomats and ambassadors who, worked at the United Nations. So I had friends from West Africa, from the Caribbean, from, I don't know, Eastern Europe. And that in itself was a huge avenue into, world music. Like on Fridays, me and my West African friends and my white friends as well would go to this little bar in the East Village called La Vagina, not to be confused with La Vagina, La Vagina. And we would dance to like West African music, to Kofi Olomide and compa and Cape Verdean music. So yeah. And then, Monday through Friday, I was like doing, Beethoven and Bizet and Telemann.
And that's the thing. I think so many people can identify with that. She says, music, I would say, is a pretty large part of my life. I couldn't imagine a life without music being a pillar, So you've seen Vittoria in Law and Order, FBI Most Wanted, The Blacklist, Rap Shit, and as mentioned earlier on, the feature film Chick Fight. We talked for well over an hour. You can hear it. You can see it again on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. We talked about concerts, living in New York, superhero movies, her new podcast called Identity Crisis, voice work, working with Alec Baldwin, and how amazing he was on set.
I would say being able to highlight all my language skills in the movie Chick Fight. Yeah, that was a very special experience.
And that was with Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin, and I played Bella Thorne's sidekick.
Yeah.
And Malin Ackerman and Jose Sloan. That was an awesome film to make. It was pretty amazing. That role was kind of written for me because of the languages, and the director and I just got on a Zoom and we talked about it, and the next day he knew what to do with her, and that was really, really, really special to like have a role, albeit small, it was a supporting role, sort of created for me.
Yeah, that's cool, right? Like, I don't know that many people can say that. Like, oh no, I met with the person and they specifically wrote this in. Like, not many people.
Yeah. And being on set with Alec Baldwin, who we
and what's he like? Like, I have to ask, is he like as cool as you think he would be?
He is as cool and professional and absolutely lovely and just a star. Like after they finished rolling on him, he still stayed around for apparently like 2 hours just to make sure that they didn't need anything more of him, which is I think is just leading man vibes. And when we finished our little scene on the beach, I had told a mutual friend of ours, David, that I was doing this film and that he and I happened to have a scene together. And David happens to be Alec's wife, Hilaria's best friend. So I said, hey, I'm doing this movie with Alec. And he was like, great, I'll tell Hilaria and David, Hilaria and Alec that you're going to be on set. And then I forgot about the conversation, of course. Then I go to Puerto Rico, we shoot the scene. I get off set. The camera stopped rolling. And Alec goes, hey, everybody, stop for a moment. There's somebody here on this set who is a friend of my friends, David and Marcus in New York. And I was like, that's me. And I couldn't believe that. Like, that was just so incredibly kind, right? Because obviously if I were, another leading actor, he would have known my name or whatever. He would have known right away. But I thought that was just so kind, and it really broke the ice. And after that, he was like, oh, we need to take a photo. Like, we should take a snapshot. We should take a picture. And I was like, okay. And so we take a picture, and I have a picture, and I was just so excited to like show it to my mom and my whole family. And he's like, oh, we have to FaceTime Hilaria. I was like, okay. And I had actually met her at a Christmas party. Of course, she probably didn't remember me, but we FaceTime her and he's like, oh, here I'm with Victoria, David's friend. And she's like in the closet, like, rearranging her 500 shoes or something. And it was kind of awkward, but so sweet at the same time that he got so excited about it.
Yeah. Even for him to remember it in the first place is like, okay. But then to also take it that next step and then that step's pretty amazing. It's pretty wild.
Pretty amazing. Yeah. He's incredible. Really incredible. I'm glad he's reeled back in and from that whole,
Subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, and Spotify at Toddcast Podcast.
Just a phenomenal song. The band is Summer's Brother and one of the best indie songs of last year. It's called Misinformation. You need to see this band live. They are just so damn good. And they're going to wrap up things for this week. But before we do, of course, want to give a big thanks to this week's guests, Sophia Lima, Don Andrews, Vittoria Setta. Thank you for taking the time to join the Toddcast and sharing your amazing stories. Truly honored that you would jump on to be a guest. As we put a bow on this one, episode 394. Once again, my name is Todd Hancock. Thank you for being there, for listening. If you like what you heard, please do tell your friends about us. We are part of the Realm.fm network if you want to check out more fiction and nonfiction podcasts, again, through Realm.fm. Subscribe to us, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Megaphone, YouTube, wherever you watch or listen to podcasts, I guess. Comment and rate the podcast because that helps out big time in search results. Search us out through what else? Toddcast Podcast. Huge thanks to all of our stupendous sponsors. You can find links to all sponsor websites at toddhancock.ca. If you would like to sponsor the podcast, you can for as little as $10 a day. Contact info is at the homepage. And as always, if you help us find a sponsor, we will give you a commission. We'll pay you if you help us find a sponsor. Any other podcast doing that? I'm going to take a sec to check around. Nobody else doing that. Okay. Till next time, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard, and most of all, believe in yourself.
You've been listening to the Toddcast Podcast, powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, dedicated to helping you find the best mortgage rates. Available 7 days a week at citywidemortgage.ca.